Best of r/entitled parents episode 63. So I've worked in daycare for about 10 years now. I have run into a lot of entitled parents, but here are a couple that have been the worst to deal with. An entitled dad who called me a fucking asshole because I told him he had to pay his bill with us. Then he told me to go fuck myself when I wouldn't allow his daughter in the center the next day due to his behavior. An entitled dad who thinks we should kick out any kid who upsets his perfect angel, even though his kid is the instigator most of the time. An entitled mom who felt it was okay for her son to call the staff names because he should only show respect to the people he felt respected by. Also, she felt like because she paid us so her son could call us what he wanted. An entitled mom who was mad she had to pay a late pickup fee when her daughter was picked up almost an hour after closing time. Mom didn't even answer her phone when we called. We eventually got a hold of her grandpa to come and get her. He argued that since her daughter missed her day that week due to illness, that we shouldn't be charging her extra fees. An entitled mom who was mad that we wouldn't let her son have a peanut butter sandwich for lunch, as we are a nut-free facility. She wanted to know why we make special arrangements for kids who have allergies, but not her for kid who is a picky eater. When tried I explaining to her that there was a child with a severe peanut allergy in her son's class, she told me that wasn't her problem. It was that kid and his parents' problem, and her kid should get to eat what he likes. Edit to add we provide the children with 2 snacks and a lunch throughout the day, and have signs posted asking parents to not bring in nut products. Thank you. Next. A little preface. I think at this point, I could tell a bunch of stories about my EP roommates and their kid. Ultimately, I don't think the kid is that bad. He does have behavioral problems, but his parents very poorly handle them. Even though he is 9 years old, his adopted mother argues with him constantly and has since he was a toddler. They also refuse to take responsibility for anything he does/breaks, unless it is something of theirs. I am pretty sure their kid is one of the reasons I put up with their shit in particular. However, their bad habits and an overwhelming sense of entitlement are turning him into a spoiled brat. They also receive government assistance/it. I do not. By no means. So I add this to be disparaging, so much as to point out they have a much larger food budget. They not only use it, but cash. Anyway, last night, we both ordered pizzas. We paid for all our own orders. I figured I would order a large pizza for myself. I had just gotten back from a trip, and I still haven't done any adequate grocery shopping, so I figure one large pizza will last my broke ass a few days/until payday. I won't have to go grocery shopping or waste money on even more takeout. They ordered the same. There are 3 of them, one of me. They also have a bunch of snacks and a decently stocked pantry/fridge. I had a box of cereal, a Brita pitcher full of water, and some crackers, which, by the way, they went through/ate half of because the mom/em is diabetic and needs to snack. Her reasoning, not mine. Not surprisingly, the 3 of them dusted off their pizza that night. I only had 2 pieces, then another piece for breakfast before work. I come home for them to tell me they gave their kid some of my pizza because he was hungry and didn't want to eat anything else. I confronted the father/husband about this, who only thought to tell me while talking about just how much their son ate. He was surprised I was upset because I had a whole pizza and I really wasn't going to eat it all by myself. It happened while I was at work, so I couldn't really do anything. Tonight, he refused to eat dinner, save for a baked potato, and he was still hungry. He then proceeded to shoot down the numerous suggestions on what else to eat, including their dinner once again. He then proceeded to announce he wanted pizza. I wasn't even eating pizza at the time. Another thing they like to do is get mad at me for eating better food that their kid likes anywhere where he can see. He asks me for pizza. I straight up tell him, no, that's my dinner. You already took a piece without permission. He proceeds to throw a tantrum. To me, then his parents, who then approach me. Me and K should be pretty self-explanatory. Hey, can K have some pizza? He's really hungry. Me, I already told him number. I don't have anything else to eat besides that pizza, and you already gave him one without even texting me to ask. Well, he doesn't want to eat anything else, and it's just sitting there in the fridge. Me, where else is it supposed to be? To K, you know, You have chicken, mac and cheese, cereal, cookies, ice cream. K. No, I want pizza. EF. Come on, you don't need that whole pizza. Me. It's my pizza. EF. Come on. K. She doesn't want to give you pizza. She's being greedy and she's going to scarf down a whole pizza by herself. I left it at that. They left it at that. But regardless, I was surprised by how he acted like I was the bad guy for not bending to their whims. Especially given they have one hell of a habit of stealing my food, and right after Christmas, I was helping buy them food/stuff like milk and bread that they never paid me back for. And I'm the greedy one. Thank you. Next. This is my first post here. Hopefully it's decently formatted and all that. I'm also not a native English speaker, so I apologize for mistakes. A little bit of backstory. My 16-year-old best friend, Kay, is an awesome girl who behaves well for the most part and makes food for the family and does chores, etc. A good kid overall. She's depressed and has an anxiety-related illness. I don't remember its name, but it makes her get anxious over the littlest things and get panic attacks and anxiety attacks. Because of multiple things, such as her mom and her old friends and stuff. So, on with the actual situation. Kay is homeschooled for now because she had troubles with a public school. She has a lot of trouble getting school stuff done, and for the first 2 months of this year she has and will have one exam per week that she will go attend at the school she used to go to. This gives a lot of stress for her, and she has to basically study and rehearse multiple hours every evening because she didn't do anything for the first months of the semester. She has been behaving extremely well lately, but today an accident happened. Her mom had just cleaned the kitchen today. Kay goes on to make a snack for herself and drops a drinking glass down onto the floor, shattering it. She doesn't make a big deal out of it and starts cleaning it up. This is when her mom comes to the kitchen and sees what happened. Quoting Kay, translated, "This is what happened. When mom came back and notices what had happened, she starts yelling and complaining to me how I always get myself into more and more trouble, like if I didn't respect her efforts enough. Sure, my main plan for today was to purposefully drop a glass for the first time in 2 years and break it. Just right today. It sounds really fair how I get yelled at for being useless as a human being for an accident so small, which she actually does a lot more often herself." Kay ended up opening up to me with a 500-700 plus word paragraph. Those quotes above were a part of that. In the paragraph she further explains how her mom brags to the rest of her relatives with how well Kay is feeling and how she isn't depressed anymore because she eats, does schoolwork and goes outside. In reality, these things are still really hard for Kay and she has to force herself to do them. I feel really bad for Kay. I really wish that things were better for her. I left out a lot of details, because those would have made this story a lot longer than it needs to be. Go ahead and ask for any stuff you need to know. I'll answer to every comment I can. Thank you. Thank you. Next. My stepmom used to be a teacher. She taught high school English. She also tutored many of her students after school. Most of their parents were very respectful of her and appreciated her efforts. However, a surprising number of them expected her to perform some kind of magic and turn their brats C's and D's into A's, without any extra effort on the kids' part. I remember one Karen in particular who practically yelled at my stepmom, telling her she was a lousy teacher and asked if her kid has to work harder. What was point of her tutoring him? Anytime my stepmom tried to reason with her, she'd repeat, "But you're the teacher. It's your job to make him better," like a goddamn broken record. Finally my stepmom had had enough and told Karen to get out and that she won't be tutoring her kid anymore. If I remember correctly, the kid ended up flunking English. Thank you. Next. Hello everyone. I only joined Reddit a couple weeks ago, so I'm new to all of this and my spelling might not be so good because I am on my phone. Scrolling this subreddit reminded me of this story, so I thought I should share it here. Backstory. I am 14 and my family and I got free tickets to Los Angeles because my brother had leukemia, which is cancer of the blood. He was very brave through his treatment, but he finished strong, and a couple days after he was cured we got a call from a cancer organization saying that they were going to send us to Los Angeles. We got free flight tickets, housing, tickets to Disneyland and Universal Studios. Also at the theme parks we get to skip the line and go on the ride, so you can imagine how Riem would react. The cast. Me, big bro of a cancer victim. Bro, my little survivor. Mum cool chill mum. S1 stranger 1. EM Karen from the depths of hell to ruin people's day. ES entitled son. Is innocent sister to ES. The story. We decided today we would go to Disneyland. We went to Mickey's Fun Wheel first because my brother loves Mickey Mouse. We walked up to the ride and we were wearing our wristbands that say we can skip the line and go to the front of the line. Insert EM and ES. As we walk up to the front of the line, ES notices us and whispers to his mother, why do they get to in front of us? EM sees us walking to the front of the line and opens her Satan created mouth and said, excuse me, go to the back of the line and wait like the rest of us. My mum goes to say something but she gets cut off by EM. EM, I don't want to hear it, go to the back. I respond, me, if you had let us speak we could have explained that we are going to the front because we have permission. I flash my wristband but that of course was not the end of it. EM, I still don't see why you go to the front. I reply, me, it's none of your business why, just leave us alone. My brother says, bro mummy, can we go on the ride now? My mum says, yes Wibbles, her nickname for my brother. We go on the ride and my brother had fun so we go on again and skip the line again. EM, go to a different ride and let Emmy go on as well. And are there any staff around here that are going to stop these people from pushing in line? I was about to yell at this but I then notice a small girl around the age of 5 just looking down as if it's normal of her mum. I soften my voice and say, me, my brother here had cancer and we are going to the front as a reward for him beating his cancer. Then this freaking EM says something I will never forget. It was so horrible I just wanted to strangle her but I kept my cool, but I was shocked at what she had murmured under her breath. EM, I wish my kid had cancer. That EMSMH had no idea what she had just activated. My mum went insane. Mum, you should be ashamed as a mother. How can you wish such a thing upon your child? I tease people like you are why this world isn't perfect. She said all this whilst tears ran down her face. Mum, you have no idea the pain my boy went through. We thought he was going to die. Out of breath my mum stopped whilst a stranger comforted her. S1, it's okay. Don't cry, you have such a pretty face. What a cliche, but it was still nice enough to make my mum smile. All the people in the line were death staring the EM, most of them shaking their heads. The EM said to her kids, EMWW, we'll go to a different ride. The ES started screeching. ES, no mummy, I wanna go on that ride. It's, can we go on that ride mummy? Points to a tiny roller coaster, she said in a cute little voice. So we went on the ride again and then we decided that dad would look after my brother whilst my mum and I went on a roller coaster, but we saw the EM gossiping to her husband who looked depressed. The EM spotted us and shook her husband and pointed at us. I waved my wristband and stuck my tongue out at her whilst I walked past the line. We had a great rest of our day. Thank you. Next. Note, this is my first post here. I read the rules, and this lady is a parent, even though her kid isn't a big part of the story. If this doesn't fit here, please tell me, then I'll remove it. Beware, this is a very long story, so get comfortable. A bit of backstory, I am American, and when I was around 8, me and my family moved to England. A few years later, I am now around 9-10, we moved to a new area, and of course that meant I was starting at a new school. My family moves almost yearly, they like to explore and are constantly looking for the perfect house, so I am very used to starting fresh and making new friends. A few weeks before, we got to go look around the school I was starting at. It was a very small school, everyone knew each other, all the teachers helped out in all the classes, things like that. I got to meet all the teachers that worked there. There was KS1T, Key Stage 1 teacher, KS2T, Key Stage 2 teacher / my teacher, headmistress, and OL, office lady. Then there were 2 TAs, teacher's assistant, that offered to help around the classroom. One of them is our EM. At the school, I joined the KS2 class mid-January and everything was normal for the first few days. Classmates were nice as usual. Teacher was dumb AF as usual. There was one kid that was very dumb and never listened as usual. Everything seemed fine. After a few days we had a sunny day for once. I was so used to America's hot summers and snowy winters. England is just rain and more rain. KS2T decided to make use of the rare sun and said today is pay class. Remember, small school, no gymnasium. I was excited, and then it was revealed that our pay teacher would be one of the TAs. NTA, nice teacher's aide, was busy, so that left EM. She was your average Karen. Perfect haircut, dyed blonde with the roots slightly showing, nails like a bird's talons, sunglasses even though it was January, and she acted as if she was the most perfect human being. I often heard her talking about her child. She spoke as if this kid was created by angels and given to her as a gift from heaven. We were told that after we warmed up, we were going to play a game called Bulldogs. Everyone got excited except me. I had no clue what this game was. I told EM that I had no idea about what she was talking about, and she didn't like that. She said be tough and figure it out. As we were warming up, I scratched my knee on a rock. It was a minor cut, but I was like 9 or 10. EM said stop being a child, even though I was 1, and that she would toughen me up. Once warmed up, we started setting up for the game Bulldogs. This girl called Tina, she's very important later on, explained the rules, and told me that she was in the sports club that EM runs. The game was simple. There is a person who is the bulldog. If they touch you, you are a bulldog too. Everyone else runs back and forth across 2 lines on the ground. Behind the line you are safe. As I was running, I tripped and fell, but I tucked my head down and rolled forward back onto my feet and kept running. EM was ecstatic. She kept yelling go OP. I told you I would toughen you up. But she didn't teach me that. My dad had shown me that when I lived in America. My dad was a self-defense teacher. All week she bragged to the real teachers on how she showed me how to be tough. I think she just wanted them to offer her a full-time job. The main story. Sorry for the long backstory. I just thought it was necessary. So a few months later, we started learning about William Shakespeare. We researched all about him and then we were told by KS2T that we would be going to a huge theater to perform the play A Midsummer Night's Dream. I was so excited because I got the lead female role, and because my parents were coming to watch. KS2T and Hum were explaining to us about how the performance day was going to go. Hum said she would be watching the performances from the audience, and that KS2T would be backstage along with EM, who had decided to come to help us. On the day of the performance, we had to get to school early, and come with a packed lunch and dinner. Tina asked me if I wanted to sit with her during the bus ride. She seemed very nice. We chatted the whole ride to the theater. It took around 3 hours to get there, and she even let me sit by the window because I got travel sick. Once at the theater, we met with the other schools that would also be performing a play. We would be doing 2 performances, one at around 4 PM and one near 9 PM. Tina and I were so excited. We sat together and ate our lunch while KS2T ran through the plan one last time before the first performance. Do you remember me mentioning the dumb kid that never listened in class? Well, turns out he is the angel that is EM's child. This EK came up to me and kept saying how his part of the play was better than mine. Here is the conversation. EK, hey you, OP, bet you'll never guess what part of the play I have? I bet it's so much better than your part. Me, really? What part do you have? I have lead female role. EK, I have insert really small useless part. It's the main male role. Me, actually, my brother and his friends have the main male roles. But yours is very nice. Later on I found out that he had the smallest part because he couldn't remember the lines. EK, no fair. Your part isn't better. My part is the best. Then he stormed off to find EM and complain or something. So we performed our first play, and most things went smoothly. One boy that was really shy forgot his lines, but I had memorized the whole script so I helped him. I had a lot of fun until we silently walked off stage. We were told that it was crucial to be absolutely silent while we walked off, because the other schools would be starting their performance. When we came off the stage, we were meant to follow KS2T to the dining hall to eat our dinner. I was at the back of the line with Tina in front of me. The kids on stage were very loud while performing, so Tina took the opportunity to tell me how fun it was performing. She slowed her pace so we were walking with our shoulders touching, and we continued whispering about the play. What we didn't know was that EM was behind us, and when she heard us talking, which I'm not sure how she did because we could hardly hear each other, she got angry. Like, Ultra Karen, I need the manager angry. EM grabbed our arms with her Ultra Karen talon grip and yanked us apart. Then I felt the talons again and she shoved me forward. I went flying forward, and make a loud bang on the concrete floor while trying to keep my balance. I was in shock. Tina looked horrified. EM was still angry. I just stood up and rushed back to the dining hall, with Tina close behind. KS2T was upset that we were late getting there, and didn't listen to me about EM. I ate in silence, then I went to Tina to talk about what EM did, and to make sure I wasn't dreaming. This is the conversation that followed. Me, still in shock. Tina, EM shoved us. That happened? What should we do? Tina, she only really pushed you a little, and I don't want her to get in trouble. Me, don't want her to get in trouble? She pushed us. She needs to be, like, fired, or something. Tina, no please. She is usually nice. You don't know her as well. I am on her sports team. Don't tell anybody. Me, sorry, but my parents are knowing. She's going down. Tina then walked away, clearly upset with me. I went through the rest of the day as if it was a normal day. My excitement was gone. I was like a robot. The other girls in our class asked if I was okay, and I said I was fine. We finished the second performance and packed our things, and my parents picked me up at 11 p.m. As soon as I woke up the next day, I told my mom about EM. She was stunned. When I arrived at school I saw both my parents go into the office. They had a long chat with OL and Hum. They were still there at lunchtime. And I was very glad that it was raining that day. That meant no pay with EM. The next day, Tina was taken out of class to talk with Hum. She came back half an hour later. Then it was my turn. I walked out of that classroom like a badass warrior that was about to kill a man, calm and confident. Hum led me to her office to talk. I was not ready for what she said. Here is the conversation. If you don't think EM is entitled yet, wait till you read this. Hum. OP, I am very disappointed in you for lying. It's really not like you. Me. What are you talking about? Hum. You had your parents come in and talk to us about how we are terrible teachers, and how we let EM push you, but both Tina and EM have denied your accusations. Me. What? I'm not lying. EM did push me, and Tina is lying too. Hum. I don't think Tina would lie about not being pushed if she was, and you hurt poor EM's feelings. Me. In pure disbelief. What? Hum. When I talked to EM about what happened, she burst out crying. She said all she did was try and be nice to you, and help you with schoolwork. But you continued to spread rumors about how mean she was, and that you told EK that his part in the play sucked. I was totally stunned. I had never heard such stupid, unbelievable shit in all my life. And there's more. Me. She's lying. I swear. EM and Tina are lying. Hum. Why would EM and Tina both lie, and then make up more lies about what happened? Also, EK confirmed what his mother said. I am very disappointed in you, OP. This discussion is final. Go back to class. I glared at her with all the hatred in my soul, then went back to class. Luckily it was math class. I am very skilled at math, so I had no trouble catching up. As soon as I got home, I repeated the conversation Hum and I had to my parents. Let's just say, they were furious. My parent complained like there was no tomorrow. And I got an apology from Hum for accusing me of lying, and for not believing me without the full story. Aftermath. Sadly, EM was still a teacher's aide, and she now hated my guts. EM acted as if we had this unspoken war going on. She constantly tried to make me look dumb. She did things like correcting my American accent, and when I raised my hand for help she would loudly say, "Oh OP, you don't know how to do this." It was annoying. I finished the year there and then left. Tina and I are no longer friends. Turns out she is an entitled brat too. I later heard that KS2T quit, that EM is still a teacher's aide, and EK is still dumb AF. Let's just say, I was very glad to leave. How did you like my story? I know it's long, but I like long stories. I have a lot more tales to tell about this school, like when Tina and her entitled boyfriend broke up. Please comment on my style of writing. I'd like to know what you think. My mom says I have a very entertaining way of using words. Also, this is 100% true except the names, of course. Goodbye from you / Harajuku Redditor, someone that has too many EM stories. P.S. My brother was in the sports club with Tina. He said that EM was much nicer to him after he joined the club. I despise that woman. Thank you. Next. Obligatory on mobile warning even though I figured out formatting. Cast, me, my friend, mom's BF, mentioned. Background, due to ocelopsia, an eyesight issue where your eyes perceive motion where there is none. I don't have a driver's license. My mom had surgery on her shoulder in November and currently is not allowed to drive and can't even work. Today, the 20th of January, happens to be my birthday and the plan for weeks was to go out and have a nice dinner in a sit-down restaurant with my friend. My mom's BF is currently sick with the flu and should not be driving until he gets over the worst of it. Combined with the medical reasons above, that means that my birthday dinner should be cancelled, right? My mom got it in her head that she'll just drive us instead while her BF stays home. I, of my own volition, cancelled my birthday dinner so that she doesn't hurt herself and set back her healing. When I tell her this, she gets mad. Mom, what do you mean you don't want to go? Me, I don't want you hurting yourself. We can do something another day when your BF is feeling better. I already told my friend it's cancelled. Mom, no it's not. I'm driving. Tell your friend that we're going. Me, Mom, you haven't been cleared to drive. Mom, I don't care. I've been cooped up in this house all weekend and I already know what I'm ordering. I want my salad. Me, well I'm not telling my friend we're going. Mom, well the only person to blame for ruining your birthday is yourself. She walks away and complains to her BF about the whole thing. Then comes back. Mom, I don't have anything planned for supper, so we're going. I want my salad and I can bring soup home for BF. I'm tired of being treated like an invalid. I have one good arm. Me, this isn't about your good arm. This is about the fact that you haven't been cleared and could set your healing back again. Mom, I don't care. We're going. She grabs my phone and texts my friend that we're going and that she'll just drive really carefully. Mom, now get ready to go. We're going for 4 p.m.